Lisa LaBelle, everyone.
All right, we're hot. Welcome to the L4 podcast. I'm your host, Lisa LaBelle. And guys, we're just hanging out. This is a hangout place. That's what's going on. I haven't gotten a podcast out in a little while. It's been a little busy. Been traveling, been doing things, but now we're back. We're back in the routine. That's what's going on. Sometimes, you get back and then you got to get back roll on back into that routine. And it's been good. I went on a vacation, a family reunion. We haven't gotten together like that in 21 years. And I had my birthday there, and it was amazing to be with my family, the whole family over my birthday, and my nephews. I just love seeing my nephews. Any chance I can get to see my nephews, I take it. I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna grab that chance. I used to live in the same state as them, and I saw them all the time. Now I don't, and I just miss them all the time, every day. So whenever I see them, I just, you know what it is? I'm like the elf. I'm like Will Ferrell in Elf. I love you, I love you, I love you. And they just look at me and they grin. I love you, I love you, I love you. So, and they got me a little donut for my birthday. And my heart just melts. It just melts all up. I'm like a blubbering, melty blob. I got to go on some roller coasters with my nephews at the Jersey Shore. Guys, when you're at the Jersey Shore, we're talking Wildwood, all right? That's where the reunion was. After 21 years, we met up at Wildwood. And Wildwood is a wild place, all right? You got a boardwalk, you got rides, you got games. It's like they took a piece of Philadelphia and stuck it at the shore. And that's what it is. You got your sidewalks, you got the smells, you got the cracks in the side, you got all the things. But they're cleaning it up too. There's some really cute parts of it. And what you're gonna do there? You're gonna have some pizza. You got Max, you got Sam's, and Hot Spot. Hot Spot doesn't have good pizza. If you want good pizza, you're gonna go to Sam's. You're gonna go to Max. All right. But Hot Spot is a pastime memory, so you had to go there. All right, you're going to have some chicken Pete's crab fries. And then you're going to have the Coors soft ice cream in the waffle cone, the twist with the Jimmies. And if you don't know what a Jimmy is, go ahead and look that up. We call it Jimmies up at the shore. But I think anywhere else they call it sprinkles. And also you have to be aware now if you're getting the soft serve in the cone with the Jimmies, okay? Because they'll take the cone and then they smash it sort of down into the Jimmy. So now all your ice cream is kind of like in the middle, okay? Now you're going to need some cone management. So my nephews were learning cone management. You got to start at the bottom and you got to lick your way out. You got to reshape that bichon. Or it's going to be all over. It's going to be all over your hands. It's going to be all over the boardwalk. Those seagulls, they like that. But if you're trying to manage it so it's not all over your hand and your wrist, you got to do the cone management method. And there is a method. So it was great. It was fantastic. Did the roller coasters with my nephews for the first time. And you know what? You got to just build some memories. Is building memories. I was on an airplane for the first time in over several years. I was which means I was in an airport for the first time in over several years. And good God, the Atlanta airport, I think it's the biggest airport in America. And it sure seems that way. With all those people, it seems like a fire hazard. That's all I'm saying. People, you're coming up around a corner, people just stop. They freeze. They don't know where they're like, I'm around a corner and now I don't know where I'm going. And then they just stop. So if you're not paying attention, you're coming up around the corner in the airport, you're going to just slam right into someone's backpack. Because, the best place to stop is just right when you reach around the corner. That's what people think. That's what they do. The human human behavior. I call that typical bot behavior, and that's a name that my older nephew and I came up with when we were playing Fortnite. Well, he was teaching me how to play Fortnite, and I was General Grievous, and I was doing a pretty bad job, and that was like in the test mode. Yeah, I wasn't doing it right, but there's just typical bot behavior. NPC, and that was going on all over the airport, especially in the people mover. You get in the people mover to go to your gate, and then a real loud message comes on. Hang on to the pole. We're gonna move. Real loud. Everyone looks up like, was that God? God, what'd you say? And then the thing moves. I was like, gadoosh. And people fly back because they don't hold on to the pole. Maybe you got a bunch of meatheads thinking they can handle the gravity, the physics, without holding on to a pole. They can't. They can't do it. They fly back in. You know what happens? They fly back into everyone else who's holding on to the pole. And that was crazy. That was wild. But we made it. We made it. We didn't pick our seats because Delta likes to charge extra for picking your seats. My husband and I are like, it's only a 2-hour flight. It'll be fine. They put us right next to the engine. Right next to the engine. Of course they did. No one wants those seats. And the engine was connected, just attached to the fuselage. That's what kind of plane it is. A Boeing, a 707? Yeah, I had to look, or 717 is a small one. I had to look up all the safety things and like if the thing, what's the safety history of that Boeing. Had to look it all up. So we're on this 2-hour flight. I opened the window thing and boom, nothing, engine. It's just engine. I see every single nut and bolt and seam of that engine. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. It's not going to be that bad. And then it turns on. I'm like, oh no, we have 2 hours to go. That's what it was like the whole time. Good God, it's all right. We made it. We made it. The buzz went away. Probably after like an hour and a half from being out of the plane, it went out of my ears. It finally went away. So, wow. Does anyone like flying? I don't think anyone, it's not, can we have a pleasant flight experience? That's all. Without paying a gazillion dollars. Like, let's get back to that. I don't know if it's ever been like that, but let's get to that. Maybe it was like that in some past. They say like your future choices affect your past choices. So maybe Delta's future choices like affected. Anyway, does that make any sense? No, not at all. But maybe they could just make some changes. Is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So that woo. So now we're back in Georgia, and I gotta tell you, I got a little tan, and while I loved it, we were outside all day on our feet all day. Love it. And I was with my nephews. I love you. And they humor old Aunt Lisa. They're fantastic. So yeah, now we're back, and we're back to the thing, back to here we are. And I was looking forward to being with you guys. So this is what happened. A lot of things are happening. The one thing that kept kind of popping up was, I think we talked about this like 3 times on the trip, data centers. Because here's why. Because in Pennsylvania, when we were with my mom, on part of the trip, they're trying to put a data center out there in the cornfields, and people don't want it, and I understand. I do. Like, who wants that? And I think it's noisy and all those things. But in the grand scheme of things, we have to think about this. Well, you guys know that I am all for the orbital data center. Like, I don't think we should be taxing our grid with anything. Our grid is already like hanging on by a thread. It's already, it needs Adderall because we got to pump Adderall into it because it's about to freaking go. It's just like, dear God, hanging on. It's hanging on by hope and some prayer. That's what's going on. So we're going to just tax the grid even more with the data centers. Now, I'm all for training AI and data centers, but let's get it up in space where the sun is the grid, and the sun has like infinite power in our lifetime anyway. Not infinite. I keep saying infinite power in regards to, it's just going to be up there for a long time. So, infinite isn't the right word, but it has like a very long life. Life cycle. It has a long life cycle. That's what I'm trying to say. Good God. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Got some cold coffee. And we got to take some sips of that 137-trimethylxanthine. Let's go. Should we get some peppy music on? Guys, bear with me. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're back, guys. Can you hear me? Yeah, you can. Go on this way. Lonely day. Who gets the blues after vacation? I need your love. I get the blues because I miss my family. I miss my nephews. I need your love. Come on, universe. I need your universe needs to show us some love. Give us a hug. All right. Hiding behind the mic. Hiding behind the mic, are we? Okay. Okay, so, but it's good. We got some improv coming up. We got some comedy coming up. I'm preparing for a big comedy performance, and I'm excited about that. So, but, those data centers, guys, though, they're important because here's the thing. Productivity. We need productivity in order to stay alive as a country. If we're just staggering in the current productivity, it's like a pizza, man. If you don't keep pumping pizzas out, people are going to just start taking your slices. They're going to start taking from other people. So if you don't keep being productive, then like overall, spreading... Like, what I'm trying to say is we need to grow in order to increase like living standards for everyone. That's what I'm saying. If we're not growing, if we don't keep cranking out the pizza pies, the living standards are going to plummet. Because then only like the powerful people or whatever are going to be taking the pizzas from the pie. They're not going to be enough for the rest of us. And guess what? How do we keep productivity high? Well, have people work. People need to be productive. But the problem is not a lot of people are working. There are a lot of people working, but then there's a lot of people not working. And then also we're in population decline. So how the heck are we supposed to keep living standards high when we don't have enough people to be productive, or when people aren't being productive already? So we need robots to do the productivity, to keep the living standards high, which means we need to continue to train AI to be better and better and better so that robots can keep productivity at a high. And that's why I am very much for data centers. And, you can roll your eyes all you want. You think, like, it's funny. People just think some other country's not going to take over if we just kind of stay stagnant. Of course they will. Look, China. Of course they will. Why do you think they wouldn't? Look, I would just love to know why you think they wouldn't. Why wouldn't they? So we have to keep the productivity high. So we are, and I'm not berating you guys. I know you guys get it. You guys understand. I know you're with me. And if you're not, you're listening, you have an open mind. So, and that's why we're just hanging out, guys. That's what's going on. So we're just hanging out talking. But, you know, per person prosperity is dependent on productivity, and machines will help produce more per person because of population decline. So each person, you're putting out a certain productivity. You have a robot or a bot and AI to help you put, 2-3 times more productivity out per person. And then we'll be able to maintain high living standards for everybody. And it's good for everybody. I like to be optimistic. I'm trying to be optimistic here because the alternative is very depressing, and I would just choose to be optimistic in the interim. So that's what was going on. And it's funny, my demographic, guys, is on, like I noticed on YouTube, it's tweens through 20-somethings, and then it skips to like 50s and on. So anyone my age, I mean, I know there's a lot of people who are into technology my age, but this is just the numbers on the YouTube. This is just my analytics. And the only thing I can, they're just like, it's funny. A lot of people my age, they hate Elon Musk. They hate technology. They hate robots. It's like, okay, but you guys are the ones not having kids. You guys are the ones, like, who the heck you think gonna wipe your arse when you're old, huh? No human being. You're like a grumpy person who's against everything with a non-open mind. No one want to get near you when you old, especially not near your arse. So I'm not sure, and then all of a sudden you're going to be pro-bot when you're old because you see that you need help. You didn't have kids. You weren't nice to your spouse. There's no one around to help you. And now you're like, I'll take a robot. Oh, okay. Let's quickly train up a robot to help your arse. We need to train the robots now to help all the people who aren't having children. That's what's going on. But Lisa, you don't have kids. I know. It's not because I didn't want them. I talk about endometriosis. It sucks, man. It really sucks. And that's what's going on. Yeah, I did. I wanted a gaggle of children. It didn't happen. Here we are. So I'm in the bucket, man. I'm in the bucket. We're going to need to train these robots now to help us when we're older. If you want independence when you're older, we got to train these bots now. And so, that's the demographic of my viewership. And it's funny, I think younger people are just excited about robots, just like I was. I feel I was before my time. I was way before my time. I was so excited about AI and robots as a little girl, and I thought we would have it. I thought the Jetsons would be real by now, and we're still, it's finally happening, but I'm an adult, and it's taken for freaking ever. So, it's happening now, but there's a lot of kids who are super excited about the future, about space exploration, about robots, and, so they're very open-minded about it. And then the people late 30s to late 40s or early 50s are like, nah, curmudgeons. I'm not putting all of them in that bucket, but it seems to be this way. And then people 50-something plus, they're like, yeah, you know what? I think we are going to need some robots to help us when we're old because they're the ones who had the children who are hating everybody, Elon Musk and all the bots and this and that. And they're like, my kids aren't going to take care of me, so I'm going to need a robot to take care of me. So that's what's going on with the demographic. So it's very interesting to think about that way. So there's my brain, and I know y'all are here for my just turning my brain inside out for you, just showing you the inside of my brain, how I think about things. So something sad happened before my trip. We got word, my improv community got word that one of our beloved improv human beings, he had an accident, and it gonna put him back. And the interesting thing is, we have in part of our girl improv community, she's a Mormon and she has a lot of kids. She's the sweetest person ever. And, she was saying when she found out that this happened and our friend was in the hospital, and she texted right away and she's like, I can mobilize about 20 women to make a food train within the next 5 minutes. I can mobilize 20 women. I mean, how amazing is that? How amazing is the Mormon community for that? She really is just a fantastic human being. And, I'm not saying all Mormons are amazing, but I've actually been exposed to the Mormon community through a step cousin. His dad was strict Mormon, and it was pretty miserable. So that was my experience with that. It was just a horrific, miserable experience for him. And then comes along, this fabulous woman in the Mormon community in my life, in my timeline, and she has opened my eyes to a different aspect of it. So I just thought that was pretty amazing. You have to have a community, Mormon or not. You have to have a community, and any religion that practices loving people as human beings, everybody, animals, being nice to animals, and treating things meaning treating human beings, treating any kind of living thing with compassion, with love, forgiveness, and no hatred. I'm on board, man. I'm on board. So, and also if you're in that surrounding, you're going to create just an amazing community that gives back to the universe, gives back to Earth. And that's cool. Anyway, let's move off that. Good God, I'm listening to myself. I'm like, what the get off that, man. Come on, stop being so pedantic. Let's go. I wore I'm getting used to the Apple Watch. I'm new to the Apple Watch. My sister-in-law gave me her old Apple Watch, and I just love it. I love it. It's like my good luck charm. And I get sad when I don't remember to charge it up. But for the first time, from all the traveling, I was sitting a lot. And it was a 3-hour drive to the shore from Pennsylvania to New Jersey, because I don't know if you're familiar out there. If you're familiar with 76, your hair just stood up on the back of your neck. I know it did. 76 in the summer. Those shore points are just back-to-back traffic in Philadelphia going over that Walt Whitman Bridge. That's what I'm saying. So, so we're sitting, and my watch is stand up. My watch started shaking. I was like, what is this? So stand up. Stand up now. I mean, that thing will shake you out of rigor mortis. Someone, they be laying there, deleted off this earth, and then their Apple Watch is telling them, stand up. And they're like, woo, and they get shaken out of rigor mortis, and they just stand up. And the EMT is like, holy smokes, it's a miracle. This dude's Apple Watch told him to stand up and shook him right out of rigor mortis. Good Lord. Mother Teresa, glory to God. What else is going on, guys? What else is going on? I've been looking at here. Let's see. All right, I have just I want to talk about petawatt. And it's just one word. You ever do a note and it's one word and it's no, I'll remember what that means. What does that mean? If we look at a massive hurricane, I talked about that. A strong Cat 4 or Cat 5, it fluctuates right around 0.6 petawatts to just under 1 petawatt of instantaneous power. I talked about that. I did. So, we need to go into that Cat 5 hurricane. It's peak petawatt right there. I think AI, what would AI do with peak petawatt? I mean, I think right now it's running on, what is it running on? Kilowatt, watt, megawatt. And then there's a terawatt, petawatt. And then Exa and Zeta, I think, is running on that megawatt. A single massive cutting-edge AI cluster operates in the hundreds of megawatt range. All right, so you got megawatt, then we have a terawatt, then we have a petawatt. So if we go into a hurricane, we catch that petawatt power, peak petawatt, give it to AI. I think that AI be praying in tongues, man. It be praying in tongues, looking around for snacks, Jack. And I think we should try it. I'll try it. Hurricane season will be coming up in September, October. So, maybe we can rig a boat up with some gun type thing that pulls in the petawatt power. And then we can, do that and then aim it at like a data center and see how that goes. See what's up. Let it just bust all over it over there at the AI data center. That petawatt power. Okay, moving on. Now we have some things going on. There's a lot going on in the technology news world, and I picked a few things to go over. We have Optimus. Young people are getting excited about Optimus, and Optimus's hand is getting pretty sophisticated. Little, it's moving along. It's getting on down the road. It's able to pick things up. I'm excited about the future, man. Optimus and Figure are really making headway. And let's see, what's this? Let's watch this. I mean, it's you watch these things and it gets you all excited. It's basically the hand. And hands, guys, hardware is hard. Hardware is hard. It has it in the name. All right? The engineering of a hardware hand, is very hard. So Tesla Optimus will blow away the competition. It won't even look like a robot. It will look like a human in a superhero suit. It will be something revolutionary. Tesla's next-gen Optimus V3 hand is getting close to human level. Tesla engineers just shared new details on the Optimus V3 hand, and the progress is striking. Here we go.
As we iterate on our robot design and go into Gen 3 and into mass production, we are getting very close to the human functionality and form factor.
All these young people.
Look like a robot, it'll look like a
young little geniuses.
I think the end goal is going to be something revolutionary. It feels like the extreme sport.
As we iterate on our robot design and go into Gen 3 and into mass production, we are getting...
Well, the audio just kicked off back there, but you can see, excuse me, talking off mic. That's a rookie miss. Talking off mic? Just projecting off mic? What is that? Improv. Okay, so this hand is incredible. I love to see it. Okay, moving on. Tesla hired Gary Zhang, Jiang, Intel's 18A Angstrom architect to lead the Terafab. Now, remember, guys, I talked about the Terafab lab and how they partnered with Intel. And it's interesting that they sort of poached this guy. Tesla partnered up with Intel back in April. Tesla just hired Gary, an Intel veteran of 17 years, to be the director of Terafab. Zhang, sorry, apologize for butchering that name, was the factory manager who just successfully oversaw the construction, tool installation, and ramp up of Intel's highly advanced 18A facility in Arizona. 18, that's the transistors, guys. It's not like the literal transistor size, but it functions as if the transistor was 18, basically, I think is nanometers small. So, okay, let's see, what's this? Oh, yeah. All right. Tesla made its first big hire for the Terafab. That's the first big hire. Basically, Tesla has hired Gary Zhang, a semiconductor manufacturing veteran of nearly 18 years at Intel, to serve as director of its Terafab chip fab project in Austin. Jiang lists his current role as director, terafab at Tesla. I need to get, I'll be able to, I'll just try to pronounce it better. I got to just do a little read up. I tried learning, I'm not saying this guy's Japanese. I'm not sure what he is, but I tried learning Japanese and I didn't last very long. I know like ni hao, but it's all about ni hao. It's all about pronunciation. It's all about, the way that you enunciate your intonations. That's what it's all about. And, that's something I got to practice. I just got with the speech therapy, got the lisp and the tongue tie and the getting my tongue to do the right thing. I just kind of started getting that under control. So now I can try to move on to the Japanese language with the intonations. Maybe. Okay. Elon walked the floor. Optimus. Here we go. Looking around. Oh, yeah. Optimus here. So Elon's walking the floor. Let's take a look. Oh, cool. They're showing Optimus walking around. I think, so this is the Optimus line. Starts at Fremont. Okay. Whoa. Fremont, California. Cool. Okay, let's see. Elon walked the first Optimus production line at Fremont. And yes, installation has officially started. This is the same space that used to build Model S and Model X. So I think they stopped building Model S and Model X to build Optimuses. Now it is being handed over to humanoid robots. The line itself is modular, so Tesla can keep changing it as Optimus evolves. Cars had the floor. The robots are moving in. And let me just say, Optimus over here. Yeah, look at Optimus. Oh, yes. Optimus, he's the jammiest jam. He's the jammiest jam of all. He's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. That gate slaps, man. I mean, Optimus over here, he's looking around like he's having thoughts. That's what's happening. All right, we have Neo. Remember Neo? I used to talk about Neo, and then, Neo was interesting. He was one of the more interesting humanoids back when I started doing this podcast about a year and a half ago at this point. And, Neo is created by 1X Technologies, and I think it's Norwegian. Norwegian. It's not America. I think it's Norwegian, and I could be wrong about that. I think I'm right, though. So Neo is a humanoid, and Neo is very interesting. He because they were using Redwood as Neo's brain. Now, Redwood is a vision language action model. And that's an AI architecture that ingests visual camera feeds and verbal commands, then directly outputs physical motor controls. But its brain has evolved significantly with the introduction of the 1X world model, 1XWM. 1XWM acts as a physics-grounded imagination engine. It literally predicts future video frames of what will happen before the robot moves, allowing Neo to mentally stimulate grabbing a mug or wiping a counter to test for success before executing the motion. So everything still runs locally without cloud latency, but processing is now handled by the Neo Cortex and chipset powered by the one and only NVIDIA Jetson Thor. So that's an onboard supercomputer specifically engineered for humanoid robotics. We've talked about this, but if you're new to the podcast, there you go. There you go. That's what a Jetson Thor is. 1X also deployed a new reinforcement learning mobility controller, an AI training method that uses trial and error rewards and lets Neo walk omnidirectionally. So we're doing we're going like different directions. Crouch to load laundry and even get back up by itself if it falls flat on the floor. So Neo now sports emotive ear rings that change lights to signal its mood and battery state. That's so cute. That's so cute. It relies on expert mode, where remote human teleoperators temporarily hijack the robot to do chores it hasn't learned yet, turning messy living rooms into living training data, which is, what Figure has been working on. Figure is, I'd say that Figure and Optimus are the top dogs in the entire world. Neo is getting there. Neo's just a little behind. All right. Neo doesn't have as much funding as far as I know, than Figure or Optimus. So it's just kind of like getting along. And also Figure, I've talked about this before, but Figure they deleted I think all of its line of code, and it's just a neural net now. That's what Brett Adcock did. So let's see. Figure is pushing a more hardcore, computationally elegant neural approach, while 1X combines Redwood, that's the brain of Neo, with predictive video simulation, that's that 1XWM, and heavy human teleoperation to slowly master home chores. Figure's new Helix 2. Helix is Figure's brain, guys. Relies on a pure end-to-end neural network, a unified AI architecture where raw camera pixels translates directly into joint torques without any intermediate code or separate subroutines. Figure is training this system natively on thousands of hours of human motion capture data, which is infinitely harder to engineer, but creates a much more fluid, unified motor intelligence. However, Figure is deploying in structured, predictable factory environments, whereas 1X is diving headfirst into the chaotic, unstructured nightmare of human bedrooms and kitchens. Correction, that's Gemini. This is Gemini. Correction, Gemini. Figure has dove into the cleaning up of a bedroom, the doing chores, the laundry. We've seen it doing the laundry, the dishes, cleaning up a bedroom, cleaning up a table, a living room. So I'm going to cross that out, and Figure is doing all that. So Figure is figuring out both ends of the workload, both ends of the workforce in a predictable factory, and also at home, which is really, really hard to do. Because guess what, guys? Remember, hardware is hard. That's what's going on. Okay. I was going to go, let's see, where are we at? We're at, let's see. We're about 40 minutes in, and I had on the docket the new RTX Spark and Jetson Nano Super. And let's see. NVIDIA just announced the RTX Spark Super Chip. NVIDIA, guys, that's Jensen Huang over there. Jensen Huang, he's the black leather jacket wizard. He's the black leather jacket Silicon Valley wizard. That's who Jensen Huang is. So the RTX Spark Super Chip is now don't get that confused with the DGX Spark, guys. That's NVIDIA's compact desktop supercomputer for AI developers. The RTX Spark is graphics. All right. It's a system on chip, an SoC, meaning the computer, brain, graphics, and memory are all baked onto one single piece of silicon. NVIDIA partnered with Meditech to build it. It's going into premium ultra slim laptops from Dell, Lenovo, and Microsoft starting this fall. So you can expect that, guys, all you gamers out there. My cousin who I saw, she lives over there in Hawaii. It feels like a different country. I haven't seen her in years, and I just saw her during this family reunion. Love you, Danielle. She is a gamer, so I think she'd be totally into this. When Jensen Huang, he was, I have a video here. He's on stage, holding two laptops, talking about this, showing off the thin laptops that could natively run demanding games like 007, First Light, and Forza Horizon 6 while maintaining all-day battery life. That is a breakthrough, guys. That's a breakthrough. Okay, I'm trying to see how long that we have. Let's see. I have to pee. So I'm wondering, like, do I do it now or do we just keep plowing through? I'm going to go pee. I'll be right back. We're back, guys. We got, let's see. We got my hands on. We got my donut from my nephews. I love you, I love you, I love you. And we got the notes. And our 137 trimethylxanthine. Let's drink some more coffee. If anyone has tips on keeping cold coffee actually cold, let me know. I just put a buttload of ice cubes in it, and then they all melt, and then it stays, and then it's still warm. So I don't like, what's the trick? What are ice cubes made of at Starbucks? I'm thinking it's not real ice. It's like some sort of chemicals that stay cold or something. I don't know. Okay, let's plow along here. Okay, so we're talking about the RTX Spark, guys, the NVIDIA RTX Spark. It is made for its graphics, a system on chip. Okay, we're doing, delivers 1 petaflop of AI computer power. So a flop is a floating point operation. It's a math calculation with decimals, all right? 1 petaflop means the chip can perform 1 quadrillion math calculations every single second. All right, let's get the Hans device on. I'm going to reread that with the Hans device because that statement I just made, it blow your head just right off your neck. Just snap it right off. Okay. Try to do this without pulling any hair out because there's Velcro on here somewhere. Yeah, there sure is. This is Velcroed. See this padding? It's Velcroed onto this hard piece of plastic, which is the main structure of the Hans device, and then the hair gets stuck all up in there. Okay, so let's go. Speaking of which, man, you see this calendar over here with this orange Boxer. I'm not a fan of the Boxer. That's all I'm saying. So I don't want you thinking this is like my favorite car or anything, because I'm not a fan of the Boxster. I like that GT3 RS, all right, or the Club Sport, something with a really big arse wing on the back. So I guess they thought because it's summer. I'm not. There's other options. There's other like convertible options in the Porsche world that we can go, with that cabaret. What's the cabaret or whatever? Anyway, so I just needed to talk about that. Yeah, because we're just hanging out. All right, so back to the RTX Spark, which is the graphics unit made by NVIDIA. It's a supercomputer system on chip, RTX Spark. For gamers, RTX Spark delivers 1 petaflop. 1 petaflop means the chip can perform 1 quadrillion math calculations every single second. All right, this RTX Spark, that's a neurodivergent right there. They make that chip. They're like, we're going to build in neurodivergent, genius, superpowers into this chip. That's what's happening. All right, you got a neurodivergent super chip in your gaming system now. The Relatable podcast, let's see, we're doing, let's see. The fastest human mathematician on Earth doing 1 complex math equation every second. For that one human to do the amount of math this laptop chip does in 1 single second, that person would have to sit at a desk and calculate continuously for 31.7 million years. It features 128 gigabytes of unified memory. In old laptops, the CPU, which is the main brain, and the GPU, which is the graphics of the brain, had separate pools of memory, and moving data between them caused a massive traffic jam. Unified memory means they share 1 massive bucket of super fast memory. The data doesn't have to travel, it's just there. Holy smokes, it's a combo. We got a combo. All right. And I'm not talking about the combos that you eat. Those are the best. I used to love combo. No, we're talking about a chip. We got a combo of the CPU and the GPU. And that's what Jensen Huang's doing over there. Because he makes things that people think that cannot be done. He's like, oh, that can't be. I heard that can't be done. I'm going to go do it. That's what Jensen Huang does. Let's see. NVIDIA is betting on local agents. So they're betting on like more hardware. We're talking about hardware, guys. And NVIDIA is betting on that. Like they're all about hardware running locally. So the cloud, like not so much anymore. Still going to need it. It's not going away. But NVIDIA is like, let's run that locally because on your computer, because it's less of a chance for a cyber attack. It's just a little more safe. And probably other reasons. The RTX Spark is built to run 120 billion parameter large language models, the math framework behind AI, completely offline right on your laptop without sending a byte of data to the internet. And that is on device, guys. System on chip, that is on device. That's on the hardware. We gonna need more hardware. All right? Let's see. By bringing their data center grade CUDA software ecosystem, that's the coding language that delivers use to write AI software natively to consumer laptops via Windows. They ensure that every upcoming AI developer writes software optimized exclusively for NVIDIA hardware. Tech analysis are already pointing out that these agent-first laptops will not be cheap. Guys, you're going to have to save up. All right? You're going to have to maybe work some extra hours, get another job, save up a little bit to get this laptop. That's what I'm saying. Maybe invest. Go ahead and invest in some Apple. I heard Apple's making some changes. Apple just got a hardware guy. They just got a hardware guy in there. So you go, I'm not an advisor. I'm not saying that. I took the Series 7, but I'm not an advisor. And, but I'm saying, Apple, they got a hardware guy in there now. So maybe it would be good. And you might be happy about that investment. And then you might be able to go ahead and get yourself one of these laptops in the fall. Well, maybe not that quickly, but, maybe soon. Okay. Moving on. NVIDIA Jetson Orin Nano Super. Let's see. That is let's see if I jog my memory. That's what I'm saying. I just noted one thing. The Jetson Orin Nano Super. So if the RTX Spark laptop chip is NVIDIA trying to dominate, let's see, laptop Jetson Orin Nano Super. Oh, that's the palm-sized $249 single board computer. Think a hyper-powered Raspberry Pi. That's what it is. Pure AI steroids. So it uses GPIO pins. Okay. All right. Boom. Memory jogged. If anyone uses Raspberry Pi out there, okay, which uses GPIO pins already. So it's set up out the box is what I'm saying. So, let's see. Losing some notes. It's set up a smart home. So a Raspberry Pi, basically, you can set up a smart home weather station. It reads data from temperature and humidity sensors and displays on a screen. You can learn coding and basic electronics with Raspberry Pi, compact single board computers designed to be embedded into other devices or projects. Now, the Orin is a little bit different here. It's not right out the box ready. It has these GPIO pins that you have to, I guess, code, or you have to set them up. So it's connecting sensors to the GPIO pins. Let's see. General purpose input-output pins, not USB ports, obviously. People might not know that out there. I just kind of learn about them. That's why I'm flubbering around trying to remember these things about the Jetson Orin Nano Super. Orin 40 pin header, but not set up, so you have to configure them. Say like an autonomous rover that uses computer vision to navigate the room. It uses AI to detect obstacles and avoid in real time using powerful processors to process visual data instantly. So you can use the Orin to do that. And then you configure these GPIO pins for this autonomous rover, whatever you need it to do. So it's the Jetson Oro Nano Super is a palm-sized $249 single board computer. So let's see, like a hyper-powered Raspberry Pi on pure AI steroids. They share some core technical traits with the RTX Spark laptops. Let's see. Just like the laptop chip, the Jetson Oro Nano Super runs on ultra-efficient ARM CPU. It's designed to draw almost zero power, around 7 to 25 watts, so it can run off a battery pack inside a drone or a small robot without melting the hardware. The software, CUDA and Jetpack, both devices use the exact same underlying software language, CUDA. This means a college student or developer can write a complex AI program on their new RTX Spark laptop. This is a tie-in, guys. Copy the code and flash it directly onto a Jetson or a Nano Super board to put inside a machine. Generative AI at the edge, just like the laptop chip, the Oro Nano Super is designed to run localized large language models and computer vision systems completely offline. We're talking about hardware, guys. So NVIDIA is really betting on a future of hardware instead of like a future of everything's on the cloud, because the cloud causes latency. If your humanoid runs off of the cloud, it's going to be high late. We want low late with a slap gate. You know what I mean? You want your humanoid to have low late, slap gate. Do it. The truffle shuffle. You know what that's from, guys. Okay. That's what we're talking about. Let's get on down the road. The original Jetson Oro Nano launched with 40 TOPS. That's trillion operations per second. NVIDIA recently pushed out a massive software update that unlocked super mode, instantly boosting that performance up to 67 TOPS. Woo! On the exact same hardware. They basically told developers, we optimized the software layer so deeply that the little board you already bought is suddenly 1.7 times faster for free. Okay. The cloud is fantastic, guys, but the future is local. So data center, let's see, I wrote another note down. Let's see, data center token factories, tokens in large language models, words then get, let's see, okay. I talked about tokens before. So we don't need to talk about that again. Let's see. So the future of apps. I was just wondering about apps. Like, are apps going to go away? We're moving on to a different subject, guys. Apps on your phone, and it ties into AI. I was thinking, like, if AI can control, if Apple came out and they're like, hey, we have Gemini, and Gemini can go into all of your it's linked to your Gmail, it's linked to your Google Maps, we can link into your bank accounts, we can link into any kind of app on your phone to get access to anything. Would you do it? I think people would do it. Excuse me, but if you're creating your own AI agent through an open source, you're not going to link all your bank accounts to it, because that's a huge cybersecurity. I mean, what are you doing? Like, do you have a brain? Hello, cybersecurity. Let's get some more coffee. Cybersecurity made me think of coffee. I think so. That's what's happening. Anyway, so I'm like, well, if that happens, no one's ever going to use apps again. We're just going to use our AI agent. So let's see. Elon Musk recently predicted that within 5 to 6 years, mobile phones and traditional apps will be obsolete, replaced by a single AI edge node. Bill Gates and various Silicon Valley venture capitalists have echoed this, claiming you will never go to an app store or search site again. So, that's interesting. Right now, humans act as the manual labor connecting apps. If you want to plan a night out, you have to unlock your phone, tap open table to find a restaurant, tap your calendar app to check your schedule, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. The expert prediction is that natural language, talking like a human, will replace the visual interface, tapping icons. Instead of you opening 5 apps, you will tell your AI, book a table for 4 at the Italian spot near the venue at 7 p.m. Make sure it fits my calendar and invite Mike. The AI translates your intent. It breaks your one sentence down into a checklist of subtasks. The AI executes via application programming interfaces. Guys, APIs is basically a hidden backdoor that allows different pieces of software to talk to each other without a human looking at the screen. The AI goes through the back doors of OpenTable, Google Calendar, your contacts to execute the tasks simultaneously. You don't see the apps, you just see the confirmation. So Musk's specific phrasing is that a phone will just become an AI edge node, essentially a screen that displays pixels and a speaker that emits sound while the AI does all the heavy lifting locally or in the cloud. If a single AI can access every service on Earth via these hidden software backdoors, you don't need to download an app. To the App Store model dies because companies will stop building visual apps for humans to tap and start building AI readable services. So, the apps won't totally go away, but this is just an interesting thing to think about. And that's what this podcast is all about, right, guys? We're just thinking about interesting things. So, on that note, I'm going to end this podcast, and we're about time here, guys. And got some things coming up, improv, stand-up. I'm hoping, though, that I have some more opportunities. I want my schedule to be so packed, freaking tight, like so freaking tight, so tight that it's just you're just going and going and going, and you just never have time to think about how tired you are. Oh, excuse my phone. Okay. So, all right. On that note, I will see you next week, guys.